I figured while I'm on a roll, I'm going to touch on one more thing. Okay. Kicking a trade. Those words should never, ever, ever, ever leave your mouth. Because the fact of the matter is that 99.9% of the time that you kick a trade, you're doing the wrong thing. You're hurting somebody. And the dollars aren't fucking worth it. So don't. Because at the end of the day, you can make a lot of money in this industry and you can still look yourself in the mirror and you can still feel good about the service you provided. If you kick a trade, you cannot do that. However, what I want you to think about is I want you to think about a financial advisor. Say you win the lottery and you go to a financial advisor and he tells you to do X, Y, and Z with your money and you don't do any of that. And in turn, 2 years later, do you get to sue him when you're broke? No, because you didn't take his advice. But he might have told you the truth. And the same thing with a legal advisor. You go to see an attorney and he tells you the things that you have to do and you don't do any of those things and you get convicted or you lose the case. Do you sue your attorney? No, because you didn't take his advice. So when you deal with the few, and when it comes to my team, I dictate when those times are, because there are many times where I say it's not worth it. They're actually on the right track. They have a car that's going to last till the end of their loan. Tell them to bite the bullet, double up on their payments, make at the very minimum, make half of their payment every 2 weeks, start paying down more principal interest, and focus on doing what they're already doing because they're on the right track. And I would just be fucking them to trade them out of it or to sell them another vehicle. Okay. However, when the time comes, and make no mistake about it, with predatory subprime lending these days, it happens. Atlantic Acceptance, that only reports to one of your 3 bureaus. Credit Acceptance, Auto Use, all of these places, they want to put you into 20% interest. They want to put you into an 80,000 mile or 90 or 100,000 mile POS. 12 months down the road, maybe your score has come up. However, now you're $8,000 or $9,000 or $10,000 in the negative. And in turn, you can't necessarily trade out of the car. Or if you could, you would be perpetually financing your initial poor choice for the next 15 years, because how many times have you seen people who have financed negative equity into negative equity into negative equity and their payments keep going up and up and up and up and up? Okay. The fact of the matter is that they took advantage of them at a point in time, and maybe the people did the right thing, built their credit up a little bit. However, they're in a position where they could be capitalized on, or they could be paying for those poor choices for the next 12 years, or you could transition them into something newer, nicer, safer, at a nice low interest rate, something with factory warranty, something that we're actually making principal payments towards, but you couldn't trade their car and do it. The way that you explain that to a customer, because you want them to have avenues to do the right thing. Some people actually do that, and we've had a number of them, is you sit down and you let the customer know, folks, I hope you understand that obviously when you purchase that car, the minimal cash down and the fact that you want to maximize the amount of vehicle you could get with your budget, given the interest rate, rather than minimize the amount of vehicle and do it at 36 months and make double payments and drive a Kia Rio, you wanted the maxed out 90,000 mile Eddie Bauer Explorer. Okay. You have not necessarily made any principal interest payments towards this vehicle. You've been paying on it for 12 months and it looks like about $800 has come off of your loan. With that being said, at the rate that you're tracking, it's going to be about 2024 before you ever pay it off. But the good news is that eventually you're actually going to start knocking off some principal, so you'll be done with that in about another 4.5, 5 years. But you have 120,000 miles now, and at the rate that you're tracking, that would mean that you only need to get about 400,000 miles out of your vehicle before it's paid off. What you have actually done is you put yourself in a position where you've maximized the amount of payment that you can afford, but you did not necessarily plan for the inevitable but variable cost of expense of keeping a vehicle running. So oftentimes in cases like this, we qualify people for a rare program. It's called a negative equity elimination program. Right now, while your vehicle still has some marketability, you may qualify. No guarantees. However, if you think about it, if you were to trade your vehicle in right now, even if it's not this dealership, some other dealership is going to receive your vehicle. What are they going to do? They're going to clean the vehicle up. They're going to put it in a sale-ready condition. They're going to service the vehicle. They're going to stop putting miles on it, and they're going to retail it. When they retail your car, they make what? Profit. So right now, in turn, what you would be doing is you would be allowing the dealership to capitalize on a profit margin that right now is your negative deficit. So if you were to capitalize on that opportunity yourself, it stands to reason that you could probably retail your car yourself, if maybe not as much as a dealership could, but as much as a private party could. It would certainly be more than a trade-in value would be. So with that being said, folks, a lot of people have capitalized on Facebook, Craigslist. There are numerous free marketing campaigns out there that you can, or venues that you could actually put your vehicle on, take a couple pictures of it, put it out there, and while it still has a value, have somebody else purchase it, right? Even if you have a small deficit balance, it's a lot easier to, in the meantime, build a relationship with a local credit union, take out a small personal loan to pay off whatever minimal deficit is. But say if we could give you 10 grand, you owe 16, and you could sell it for 13.5 or 14. That means you would only need to take out a personal loan for 2 grand of negative right now, and you would be stopping the hemorrhaging as opposed to perpetuating the same issue and literally making this transaction the catalyst for issues that you're going to have moving forward for the next 10 or 12 years. In the meantime, you're going to need dependable transportation at a reasonable interest rate that's cost affordable, that's going to do exactly what you need to do, and we may be able to help with that. A lot of your customers will say, well, I'll just send that thing back. Folks, I'm not an attorney, and in no way, shape, or form could I possibly give you any type of direction relative to that. What I can tell you right now is that if you would qualify for this program, it would mean that your credit's heading in the right direction, and I would not recommend that. I really believe that you could sell your vehicle privately for more than we could give you in trade. And in turn, you could eliminate more of your negative equity in a private retail situation than you could in a trade-in situation. So let's stop all of the sales. We're not talking to a customer right now. We're talking to you and me. I can tell you right now, I don't trade my cars in. Salespeople that do are fucking stupid. If you trade your car in, you're allowing somebody else to make money on you. We work in this industry, we can do that ourselves. Just a matter of time. So if you can sell your car for more than the dealership can give you in trade, it means that you did not lie to the customer. And if you educated them as to free venues to potentially be able to market their vehicle to a group of people, Facebook, Craigslist, it doesn't cost them anything. They could market their car accordingly. A lot of dealerships don't even bother to do that. And in turn could sell it privately. Maybe not for as much as the dealership could. Then it would be much easier to take out a small personal loan with a private credit union, maybe a family member, to pay off whatever minor deficit balance you may have. And in turn, what you have done is you have educated the customer into doing something that actually benefits them. Why don't I trade my cars in? Because I don't want a fucking dealership selling them for more than they paid me for them. I'm greedy. I know I can get more for them. It's not that I'm buried in my car and I have to trade it in because I can't afford the payments. Half of my cars I own. I still wouldn't trade them in. I would put them on Craigslist and wait a month, 2, 3, maybe 4. And at the end of the day, even if I were to market it for what a dealership would have given me, it would sell in 2 seconds. Because who doesn't jump all over the opportunity to buy a car wholesale? Shoot, I would buy almost any car that we take in trade for the dollars that a dealership puts in it because I know I can make money on it. And so would you guys. I get texts every single day. Hey, could I buy that car? Hey, could I buy that one? Hey, could I? Because you guys want to take them. What do you want to do? You want to recon them. You want to stop putting miles on them. You want to park them and you want to sell them. You want to flip those things, right? Why do we feel so bad educating the customer that could possibly be the best possible avenue for them? Now let's think about it. Sometimes it's 800 scores that maybe started out in that type of situation and have flipped negative equity into negative equity into negative equity and negative equity. And a lot of people don't really believe in putting a whole lot of cash down because it's uncomfortable. And this is America, bitch. We'll just finance it. Okay? Well, now they have a ton of negative. Well, now, if we can't get them bought, their payments going through the roof in order to drive the type of vehicle they want. Why wouldn't you educate them to capitalize on an opportunity? Yes, it's going to take a little bit of work. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, you're going to have to meet a couple of people. You might have to wait for a credit union to approve that person. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of hassle. But for 3, 4, 5 grand, is the juice worth the squeeze? You're telling them the truth. You're not only telling them the truth, you're enlightening them to something that could truly benefit them. You guys don't sell it with any conviction. You guys, listen, I go through that whole pitch with some salespeople and they say, you can get a pop on a second? All right, I'll kick the trade. No, motherfucker. Shut your mouth and get on somebody else's team. I don't want to kick trades. I don't want to educate people to go repo their cars. It's not helping them, okay? But the fact of the matter is, if you sell your car privately, you will make more than a dealership will give you in a trade. Hence, every one of you guys would buy any of these trade cars if you had the liquid cash for what the dealership put it in, because you could sell it for more money. I don't want to tell customers to go repo their cars. I don't want to tell them to go try to negotiate. What I want to do is I want to educate them into avenues that they may be able to pursue to eliminate some of their negative equity without consolidating it into an additional loan that they're going to pay interest on it all over again. You're perpetuating the problem that we run into all the time. Customers that are 10, 12 grand upside down, and yeah, we do it all the time. We consolidate that in. We're screwing them. They would have been better off if they took a fresh loan out, sold their car privately, contacted the credit union, or maybe even contacted the credit union right away and said, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I owe more than my car is worth. I'd like to market it for sale. Would you folks approve me for a small personal loan to offset the deficits and get a pre-approval? Yeah, you're pre-approved up to $5 grand. Because a lot of these credit unions that these people have relationships with will love to help them out. And honestly, if you explained it to the credit unions that way, all of them would agree with you. I can kick a trade right in front of a dealer, but I do it in such a way that I know that I told the truth. Now, if the customer follows my advice, that's up to them. If I'm their financial advisor, I'm not held liable for their choices moving forward. I educated the consumer. I offered them enlightenment and different avenues that they may not be aware of as a professional, because this is what I do for a living, as to ways that they could potentially eliminate some of the negative equity and not perpetuate a problem moving forward into their life, okay? Take some conviction of what you're selling, believe in it, and think about it realistically, and stop thinking kick trade, repoed cars, oh, it doesn't matter. This is people's lives you're talking about. This does matter. It matters to them. And if they don't matter to you, then get out of the industry. Go do something hourly. Go punch a press. If you don't care about your customer and every customer you see is nothing but a paycheck, get out now.